I've never seen anything like this before, a manhunt. And I want it to end. That's the whole point. So we can talk about the other kids. I gave myself to Xavier. Can't get any cooperation, full investigation, because the Brian Laundrie thing is so big. Don't you feel bad for that woman? I played it. I watched my Jelani Day video. It's the thing with the mother is so sad. How are we feeling today? Parched. My feet are killing me. Sunburnt. Aloe. Yeah. Aloe. Everybody.
She keeps buffering. But while everyone got here, I figured I saw she was live. I was like, woohoo, got something to buff. I don't know why she keeps buffering.
Sent Jake's. And as soon as I pulled up, they go, Marissa, here's your drink. Marissa, here's this. The sandwich. I go, is there onions on that? Is there mayonnaise? Is there mustard on that? They're like, yes. And I'm like, you motherfuckers. They got to eat. I got to eat at the hotel. There's a tiki bar here. And I ordered a chicken and cheese quesadilla with avocado, sour cream. And it was, I don't even think I chewed it. Sometimes they have those clowns that you pull the ribbon out of their mouth or whatever. I took the case.
All right. So she's not really talking about much. She's talking about, no, she hates onions. She has this thing with onions. She absolutely despises onions and will not eat anything with onions on it. So, all right. But I wanted to know your thoughts. I didn't know she was live, but I wanted to know your thoughts on the protest. And then I'm bringing you guys another case. All of this is going to be done within about 30 minutes because I have to get into a shower and go do a couple things. But the reason why I wanted to get this live in is because with this new case, I'm going to drive by the area that this girl was found in and show you guys Huntsville Police Department. It's literally one town over. I have to go to Huntsville to go where I'm going today. So I didn't want to bring it to you without bringing you the story and letting you guys know what actually happened. So that's why it was important for me to go live before I went down there. But so we can discuss Molly after. It really doesn't matter. I just wanted to get your thoughts on the protest and what you guys thought of it. But there's this new case that's right out of Huntsville. And it's like Kennika Jenkins, number 2. But it's not that well known yet. People are not really talking about it yet. Hey, Amy, people are not really talking about it yet. It's not big news yet. I found it this morning. It's not, now I live here and it's not even big here. Like literally, it's not even big here. I found it from a total random look on YouTube. And then I was like, Huntsville, that's where I live. So this girl, 29 years old, has a drug history, but 29 years old. Somehow she ends up at Huntsville Police Department. She crawls into a police van that's not really used, crawls into a police van and dies. Is left there for over 2 weeks and nobody found her. Legit? I don't know. Hey, Lucy, but the fact that nobody found her for 2 weeks, this is in Huntsville. This isn't like, Huntsville's pretty busy police department. I don't get how she was not found or why she even did that. Now, toxicology report has not come back yet. They suspect that she was on drugs. Once they found her, they checked the police surveillance and only found a gritty video. Now, the interesting part about this gritty video is that the company, I'm sorry, the family said, we can't even prove that's her. And I get what they're saying, but here's the thing. This is a police department. You don't have clearer video? How does a police department not have clear video? You're a police department. Hello? The van was in the Huntsville parking lot. Just like the cover photo. I'm going to show you guys. Hold on.
HP.
So first off, I appreciate you guys joining us this afternoon, to talk about the tragedy that we.
Okay.
HPD.
Hold up. Her name is Christine Nance. She was not in custody. Hold on. Hey, can I call you back? All right, love you. All right. Sorry about that, mama. That's the big question, Leanne. Why was it left unlocked?
Investigators say the city's security camera attached to the department shows Christina entering the parking lot on September 25th. Here's a look at the investigation.
So we originally were looking through surveillance video that really we had to look at minute for minute.
Now, I'm going to take you guys here later. I'm going to show you exactly how this is laid out so you guys can see it. But this is where the police van was. This is the parking lot. This is the front entrance. It's a huge building, but this is the front entrance. It just doesn't make sense.
Minute to watch to see somebody enter the parking lot and get into that van. So we literally had to watch 2 weeks of surveillance.
Huntsville police investigators say there is video of Nance walking around the lot and sitting on the hood of a police car and approaching other parked unoccupied vehicles for about 10 minutes. One thing to note is the video feed is unmonitored and it's hard to tell, but police say Nance entered the unlocked police van through the rear door and that there was still movement in the van through the 28th. Nance was reported missing on October 2nd. The family has had a look at the video Friday morning, but say this still doesn't add up.
Like everything was blurry. Like I don't even know if that was my sister.
We are still unsure of how our sister Christina Nance died in the van. That was not stated or pointed out in the video. All the video shown was Christina entering the van.
And we didn't see that. Between the three of them, it's not just saying they don't think that's their sister.
Investigators say police vehicles like the van they say Christina entered are hard to get out of once someone gets in.
It does not have handles on the inside because it was made for transporting prisoners or inmates. So you cannot exit. Once you get into the van, you cannot exit from the interior of the van.
Investigators also say there was access to get outside the van.
Certainly there was access to the outside world through those windows. It is the policy to keep vans locked. To keep all city vehicles should remain locked anytime they're not in use or occupied. So, that is just something that we have to look at as an accountability issue on our part.
NHPD says they will continue to work with the family, and we will continue to follow this investigation. Kennika Jenkins, Fox.
How whacked is that? Now, at the same time, they hired a civil rights lawyer So a lot of people are saying this is money. A lot of people are saying that, the van should have been locked. She was allegedly found by a cop walking by and seeing like her feet or something hanging out. They don't understand why she couldn't call for help from the windows. But here's the real question. She was in there for 2 weeks. Why didn't anybody look at this footage? They knew who she was. Why didn't they look at this footage? That's what I don't understand. This is a police department. This isn't like, some, construction site. This is the police department. You would think somebody's monitoring the damn videos. It's weird to me that nobody was monitoring the videos. So that's the van. I think that's her. Now, what I'm looking for, did she come out of a car? Did she just appear? Did this car drop her off? Like, where did she come from? She's right there. She's walking around the car. She's right there walking. Yeah, they saw her feet or something from the window. Yeah, but I would just think, Christy, that it's a police station. You should have better video. You have cars and vans all the way down here. Why aren't there cameras over there? It's a police station. That's why she's sitting on the roof of the car. I don't even understand how they know this is her, though. You can't see her. So she then gets off the police car. I mean, who can identify her? Nobody. Middle of the afternoon. This is at 12:43 a.m. Well, that would be p.m. because it's bright out. There she's walking again. Hey, Irish. I think I just lost sight of her. Is that her? I think I lost sight of her. Oh, there she is. And now you see her walking to the back of the van. You see a car pulling out right here. And gone. Right, Michelle? It's a car right there. Nobody saw her. Nobody saw some girl just getting into a van. She could have pounded on the window, something. And that's it. You never see her again. You never see her again.
Calling all pet lovers to Huntsville organizations need.
Okay. Autopsy performed who found an unused Huntsville police van showed no signs of foul play or any findings of trauma. The official cause of death is still pending, further toxicology reports. Investigators have spent the days following the discovery of Mr. Nance reviewing surveillance video to determine why she entered the van in the parking lot. So we definitely have our own private autopsy in the next few days. Our sweet Christina is dead, and they can't give us an answer. Update. All right. Madison County Coroner Tyler Berryhill announced that the autopsy performed on Christine Nance, who was found in an unused Huntsville police van, showed no signs of foul play or any findings of trauma. The official cause of death is currently pending further studies, including toxicology analysis by the Alabama Department of Forensic Sciences. I don't know. I don't know.
We've been working on and working through here, with our investigations team and with the family to try to figure out exactly what happened. And so, because there's so much information I want to share with you, normally I don't like to read to you, but I'm going to read all of this because we want to give you a lot of information that's detailed. So the Huntsville Police Department has worked with the family throughout our investigation, and this morning showed them the security video of the events leading up to the discovery of Miss Nance. The Huntsville Police Department's thoughts are with the family during this tragedy. Investigators met with the family Friday morning and showed them the security video of the events leading up to this. The Huntsville Police Department announced Friday, October 15th, information about how Christina Nance entered a park.
No, we just saw her do it in the middle of the day. It wasn't at night. We just watched it in the middle of the day.
Parked unoccupied police van in the rear corner of the parking lot at the Public Safety Complex here at 815 Wheeler Avenue. Miss Nance's body was discovered by an officer who was walking through the parking lot on October 7th. The officer noticed shoes next to the van and
shoes next to the van.
Approached, discovering Miss Nance's body inside. Windows on the van were observed to be opened, and on this type of van, they popped outward. It wasn't that they were rolled down, they popped out. HPD has spent countless hours reviewing security video to determine the events leading up to Miss Nance being in the parking lot and in that van. Security video from the city of Huntsville. Cameras attached to the public safety building were the ones that were reviewed the most, the ones that showed where the van was in the parking lot. Miss Nance.
Yeah, but here's the other thing. Why would she take off her shoes to get in the van? Think about that. Why'd she take her shoes off? That's a little weird. Did she not want footprints? Did she think she was home? Was she high? Like something's just not right. I don't know. And I'm not saying there's police foul play, but something is just not right.
Is observed in the video walking around the parking lot. She lays down in the bushes at some point. And again, we're going to show you the video here in a few minutes, and you'll see the things that I'm describing to you. She sits on the hood of a police car for some time. She approaches other cars in the parking lot. You'll see. And this all happens for about 10 minutes before she enters the van. This all occurs on September 25th at around 12:30 p.m.
You said PM?
Correct. In the middle of the day, around lunchtime. Miss Nance was originally reported missing on October 2nd.
See, now here's the other thing that freaks me out a little, okay? The video says it's AM, not PM. So is this some kind of cover up and that wasn't even her? Because the video does say 12:45 AM. And why is there a timestamp totally different? I find that a little odd. That's the one thing that's still sticking out with me is the police video shows AM. And they're showing it in the middle of the day and it was beautiful. So it was an AM. But why does your videotape say AM? That's weird. And if you don't know what I mean, right here, AM. September 26, 12:39:03 AM. But yet it's the middle of the day and it's beautiful and they're saying it's the 25th. That doesn't sit right with me. That right there is huge. He's giving a different day and saying it's the middle of the day. So how are you showing footage from the 26th at the middle of the night? Think about it. Think about that, though. He's not even given the right day. He's saying that it was the 25th. That's not what your timestamp is showing. And this doesn't show nighttime. Something's not right. I'm telling you, something's not right. I don't know how many people are catching this, but I would hope the lawyer did. And when the family's saying that this might not be her, they might be right. It might not be her because this is wrong. This doesn't go with what he's saying.
To us. And at the time, she was believed to have been seen last on September 27th. Right? After security video showed movement in the van earlier on that same date, it was determined that that timeline was incorrect. So that is part of the problem with why this took so long. So we originally were looking through surveillance video that really we had to look at minute for minute to watch to see somebody enter the parking lot and get into that van. So we literally had to watch 2 weeks of surveillance. We worked our way back to the 27th. And then as we reviewed the video at that point, we saw that there was movement in the van. So we realized she was already there. So we had to then start working backward again. All right. So as you can imagine, this, watching video minute for minute, now we're spending a lot of time trying to find what was going on. So after security video showed that movement again, as I said before, we were able to determine that she did enter the van at that point. So what I'd like to do now is go ahead and show you the surveillance video. We'll take a look at it, and I'm going to I may walk away to kind of point out some things, and I'll try to get back to the camera or to the microphone to discuss different parts of it. So this is the video. To me, let's make sure that you understand. So this is the video as it looks to us as we review the video. Let me point out real quick. I'm going to point out real quick where the van is. That is the van that we'll be looking at. And so as you can see right now, we already pushed play. We're already rolling on the video. And I want to hit stop real quick on this. I want to point out something we want to make sure that everybody knows is that the time stamp on this is exactly 12 hours off.
Oh.
So as you can see, it looks like it says AM. This is actually in the middle of the day. It's PM. So it's the time stamp is off by 12 hours. So this is just after lunch on Saturday, the 25th.
Okay, why would police video be off by 12 hours? Someone explain this to me. Why would police video be off by 12 hours? Am I living in the Twilight Zone, or does that not seem right? Why would you have police video that's off that amount of time? Why flip it? That's weird to me.
Yes. All right. So we'll roll it again. And I want you to pay close attention to just how difficult it is to see anything in these videos. We'll show you in a few minutes how we can zoom in to some degree. But as you zoom in, you lose. It becomes more pixelated and more difficult to see. If you will watch here in just a few minutes, you'll start to see her come into view as she's walking toward us in the distance on Wheeler Avenue. And I'm going to walk over and point out where you will see.
I don't know why I can't get a full screen.
On the video. We want this to play for just a minute so that you can understand and the public can understand. You can see her there walking, the figure walking along the street. Again, investigators had to sit and watch this video minute for minute for hours to finally find this.
Just for clarity, can you go ahead and point her out one more time?
Sure. She's actually gone behind a car. So what I'll do, so we wanted to show you this raw version of the video. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and stop it here, and we're going to show you an enhance where we zoom in, right? Okay, so we'll switch now. And again, watch from the same area. You'll see her walk toward the camera.
We're not living in 1920. I almost want to go into Huntsville and just ask them, like, I don't understand this. I might too. Don't think I won't. Like, why is their video 12 hours difference? I want that answer. Yeah, I did, Nikki. I've been on for about a half hour already.
She actually, it appears that she sits behind that patrol car for some time. As you can see, she went behind the patrol car and is not reemerged. And again, make sure you note that October 7th is the day that we found her. And so we had to work back all the way from October 7th to now we're on September.
That's his job, though. Why is he acting like he's doing something like, oh my God, we work so hard? Are you kidding me? That's your job as an investigator, dude. I don't get this. I'm telling you, I'm going to end up walking into this police department and asking questions. Because why does he keep stressing that? That's his job. Someone was found inside a police van dead and was decomposed after 2 weeks. So you had to work a little hard to find out who did it. And like, do you want props for that? And I haven't seen this yet. This is the first time I'm watching this.
September 25th to be able to find this
Hey, Lacey.
Video that shows her in the parking lot and get into the van.
All right, quick rundown for anyone that's just coming in. Local police department about 20 minutes from me. there was a girl found, a black girl, 29 years old, found dead for 2 weeks inside of a police van, and there's no answers. Nobody knows anything yet. So this is the Huntsville Police Department update on what's going on. Exactly, Michelle. This is their job.
It's on our building. It's maintained and serviced by the city of Huntsville General Services. So we obviously have access, but those.
What happened?
HPD and
So, and this all happens for about first come up on. And again, make sure you note that October 7th is the day that we found her. And so again, now walking, you have an event and you need to go back and look, you have the ability to do that. You see she just leaned against the patrol car.
Yeah, she's been arrested a couple of times.
As you can see there, how difficult she is to see at that point.
That's when she laid down here. They say they don't use that police van. It's not one they use. Oh, they know they're going to get sued.
Vehicles, there's actually a gate arm that you have to have a key card to enter this part of the parking lot. However, as you can see, you can walk into it. Here's where she goes along beside the van. You'll see her go to the rear of the van, and then she doesn't reemerge, and that's where she enters the van.
They believe they can't see.
So from this point forward, there are numerous times throughout the next few days where you see movement inside the van. We actually see those windows. I'll point to the windows I'm going to refer to. Those windows actually pop out and open, then they close, and pop open again. So there were several times, primarily those windows opening, I believe were the 28th, when those windows opened that were very prominent. And then they stay open. They ended up open all the way until the time that the officer found her. So,
and nobody noticed.
I think what really distresses us and pains us is that we know that there are, you guys will have some of this video, but cars go by, people walk nearby the van. We just wish that she would have hollered out to someone or something, because there were plenty of, unfortunately, there was what we see as potential opportunities for this to not be a tragedy. And unfortunately, no one was able to realize she was in that van. And that was the outcome. So a couple of things I want to talk about now, just sort of as a follow-up. So when the officer found her, of course, we worked this as any other crime scene, potential crime. The body was sent for a preliminary autopsy. We are waiting for the full results, which would include the toxicology. But we did get, as you know, the preliminary, which showed obviously no trauma to the body, no signs of any foul play. And just something about the van, just so you know, the van was purchased in 1995. So we've had this van for a long time. When we originally purchased this van, it was when the city of Huntsville and the Huntsville Police Department maintained a jail. And so we used that van to transport prisoners or jail inmates. In the early 2000s, when we switched over and the Madison County Sheriff's Department took over the operations of the jail, that vehicle was repurposed. We didn't need it for that anymore. So we primarily used it for two different things. One was in the event that an arrestee out in the field couldn't get into a patrol car, whether it was something to do with their physical attributes or whether it was a handicap situation, we would send that vehicle out so that we could transport them, humanely, I guess you would say. So that's one of the uses that vehicle is used for, which that was very rare. Which it was used more often to take evidence that had been cleared by the courts, evidence that was no longer needed. That evidence is to be taken to be destroyed. And so that van was used by the evidence technicians to do that. That van had last been used in March of this year for that purpose. It had been sitting there unused since March. Well, we don't know just exactly, apparently it was unlocked when we got there. When we got to the van and found Miss Nance in it, those back doors were unlocked. So,
were you able to exit, open the doors from the inside?
No, you're not, because of its original design. It does not have handles on the inside because it was made for transporting prisoners or inmates. So you cannot exit once you get into the van. You cannot exit from the interior of the van.
And was there like up front or even up front?
No, there's a divider, so that if you were if there were an inmate or something behind you, you wouldn't want that inmate to be able to get to you if you're driving the van. So there's a divider.
If it was a transport van, you couldn't open it from the inside. You mentioned the windows. Could a person climb through that window, or are they too narrow?
You couldn't climb through it, but it wouldn't take much to knock that window out because the way those windows punch outward, that window would not take a whole lot of force to open or punch completely open. However, it was open plenty to hear outside the van or to yell to outside of the van. Certainly there was access to the outside world through those windows. But again, she would open and close them, and we simply have no idea of knowing what her state of mind was, what was going on there. Again, we just, it's just a tragedy that we wish had come out different.
Here's my thing, though. Even if she was high as a kite, within a few days, she would have calmed down. That's what doesn't make sense to me. Even if she was coked out of her mind, methed out of her mind, doesn't matter. She would be able to come clean. Why does this keep turning off?
HP.
She would come clean within a few days, within a day or two. So that's why I don't understand how she died in the van. She didn't die of heat because you can open the windows. They said they saw the windows opening and closing. It's so weird.
Van. And that was, certainly there was access to the outside world through. Well, our CIT unit works with those who struggle with any type of, I want to really, the last thing we want to do, right, is turn her into any kind of, she's the victim here, right? And so we don't know what her state of mind was at this time. We don't know any of that. But what I do want to tell you is that we do know her. We have worked with her with our CIT unit, and we have worked to get her different resources. I really don't want to go any further than that.
What is the CIT?
That was said nice.
Well, it's an intervention team that works with those. They usually respond to calls of things like mental altered states and things like that.
And how has it been, about a year? How long?
Since the last contact, I don't have that exact time that the last officer had that type of contact.
Can you go through the timeline again of when the family says they last saw her, when they reported her missing, when she actually had in the van?
Yeah, so the timeline is that we have her entering the van. So she goes into the van, and this is now, I'm giving you the timeline based on what we now know. She entered the van on September 25th at around 12:30, right? Just around noon. So the family reported her missing on October 2nd. What we were told is the last time they saw her was September 27th, right? So, and then we found her on October 7th.
there any way that, I guess,
Hold up a second. Hold up. That doesn't add up. They're saying the last time they seen her was the 27th, but they have her entering the van on the 25th. Something's off. How did the family see her on the 27th? Unless she left the van and was placed back in the van. Hey, Gritty. And I think that's what's throwing the cop off too. But that's the family saying it was the 27th. There's video right here saying it was the 25th. I'm so lost on this.
a policy change, or since the van was unlocked, how are you guys addressing that moving forward?
Yeah, it's a good question. So it is the policy to keep vans locked, to keep all city vehicles should remain locked anytime they're not in use or occupied. So
The problem is him saying that just made them lose a lawsuit.
that is just something that we have to look at as an accountability.
No. October 7th is when she was found. The surveillance on the video shows that it was the 25th that she entered on, not the 27th. They found video that they went back to the 27th and there was nothing. They went back another 2 days and that's when they found her. Something is off somewhere.
Issue on our part. We have to address that and make sure that we don't accidentally leave any
No, that's Gabby Petito. This isn't Gabby Petito case.
vehicle unlocked at any point. So, sometimes you just have to say that was something that shouldn't have happened. It did. Our policies are such that should not have happened. And now we have to look at that and we have to make sure that we have things in place so that does not happen again.
And going further than that, so do you not have people monitoring the lot just for any vehicle, just to make sure that everything is going well in the lot?
No, that lot is for police personnel. There are police officers in and out of that lot 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In fact,
okay, in and out. Listen to what he just said. In and out 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but yet nobody saw her for 2 weeks. She was stuck in a van for 2 weeks, but there's cops in and out of there 24/7. Okay, dude.
you can see, we see officers in and out of this parking lot all day on these surveillance videos. We watch people move
Molly.
in the parking lot continuously, day in and day out throughout these, from the 25th until the 7th as we watch video. So, there's really not a big need for specific security because we kind of provide that security in our constant movement in and out of that parking lot.
So you said that the officer,
But yet nobody found her.
noticed some shoes next to the van. Do you believe those were her shoes, and where were they located in proximity to the van?
Yeah, so we do believe that they were her shoes, and they were literally straight under that window that I told you popped out. They were right on the ground, right beside the van.
So was it the shoes or a smell?
Okay, that was her cry for help. That was her cry for help. She put the shoes out, hoping somebody would see her shoes. You would think that cops would see automatically their shoes outside this van. Let's go look in the van. The guy's sitting there saying, this is going to burn them in court, like completely burn them in court. Because he's saying there's cops 24/7, but nobody noticed shoes. It makes no sense. She put the shoes out so somebody would help her.
It was the shoes. And he saw the shoes.
I know, right,
He thought that was
Lacey?
Odd to see shoes laying there. A lot of times, so this entrance here, there's an entrance in that other video. You could see that there's an entrance just below where that camera sits. That doorway is the doorway into this building that you enter a lot of times over here on the side or sometimes exit when you come into this room. This hallway is used for a lot of officers who go to our internal city gym and to the records division, right? So we have officers who come in and out of this area just constantly. And so a lot of officers, they're familiar with what cars tend to be in the parking lot, what, the way that things tend to be situated, right? And so.
Oh my God, I just keep doing that.
HPD investigators say the city's
Are tend to be situated, right? And so to see shoes sitting there, that officer saw it and being very observant, realized that he had never seen that before, and that was out of the norm. And so he went over to look and investigate what was going on and discovered her body in the van.
Is there any point on the video when you received the shoes?
2 weeks to notice.
Yeah, we could not. And so something about this is you can see this video that we've just shown you now. You can tell it is more pixelated than the video we showed you earlier that was really backed away, right? And so the problem is that the closer you get, the more pixelated it becomes, and the more small things you can't pick them out. And so, we believe that just you can't see it when the video is back enough, and as you get too close to it, it pixelates out such small movement, and so you can't see it. But you can see when those windows open that it changes the angle, really, and that reflection on that window during the daylight. You can see that it's something small like shoes. We just weren't able to pick that out.
Can you speak about how this morning went with the family when you showed them the video?
Well, anything like this, anytime you deal with a tragedy and the loss of a loved one, it's tough. And so, I'll say that this has been a difficult time for them. It's been a difficult time for our investigators. And so, it was a tough morning.
What would your message be to the family?
Well, certainly that we're here for them. We want to work through this with them. It's a tragedy. As the police department, our goal, our job is to do everything we can to serve them, to serve all of our public. And we're here to work through this with them. And it's just a terribly unfortunate situation.
Thank you, guys. I think we're going to conclude right there. Thank you.
I got one more question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
The police car that's in the corner by the van, is that out of service? What do you know about that vehicle?
That vehicle, I hate to tell you the wrong answer, but that vehicle usually sits there. I believe it is an out of service vehicle.
Just I'm wondering about how, watching all that video, I'm just wondering, hoping the outcome would change.
Yeah.
If you saw how proximate anybody got to that van in that span of time, near misses, that kind of thing, within the parking lot itself.
There were near misses for sure. There were absolute, and that's the struggle that we have, right? We don't know her mental state, right? But there were clearly opportunities for this to have ended differently.
Thank you, guys.
It doesn't add up. I'm not buying it. We can't buy it as a family, and we won't. We gonna push for my sister.
Christina Nance family says they're not accepting the recent update in her death investigation. 29-year-old Nance was found inside a Huntsville police van last week at the station parking lot. HPD says in part, investigators have spent the days following the discovery of Miss Nance reviewing surveillance video to try to determine when Miss Nance entered the van in our parking lot, end quote. They say they will also continue working with the family.
So we will have our own private autopsy in the next few days. Our sweet Christina is dead, and they can't give us an answer.
Here's what the family says they remember most about Christina.
Every time she'll come
29
with us, or we'll come by to see her, she'll just smile, and we'll all just be like, Christina, hey Christina, and she'll just smile and just light up a room. Not only that, but she also had a bright personality. She was real respectful, shy. She loved to sing, dance. So for something like this to happen to our sister is devastating. Knowing that we have to wake up every day
it's Alabama.
and not see my sister, and just to know that she's not coming home, that she's not coming back.
Now, here's one of my issues, and then I really got to go. Here's one of my issues. Why did they hire a lawyer that gets big settlements instead of an investigative lawyer? Why not hire a criminal defense attorney? Why not hire a civil rights attorney when it's not about money? This is about money. In my personal opinion, something isn't right. But I also don't agree with the way the family is handling it. My first thought wouldn't be money. My first thought would be finding out what happened to my sister. To hire a civil rights attorney who's gotten big settlements against police wouldn't be my first thought. She was a drug addict, though. Wow, always about the money. I agree with that. And maybe no, he did. He's a big national known civil rights attorney. I just found that a little odd. They started a GoFundMe immediately. Like everything was about money. It's very weird to me. Money wouldn't be my first thought. Money would be my thought after the fact. After I found out what the toxicology reports were and stuff like that, but not initially. My first thought wouldn't be, I'm going to get Huntsville Police Department. Something's not right. And there's so many little things that doesn't make sense to me either. For example, the timestamp being 12-hour difference. Why is there a timestamp of a 12-hour difference? Why doesn't a police department have a lot more or better camera footage? Why isn't there more being done on the camera? Like, I have so many questions that can't be answered. Maybe I'll walk into Huntsville Police and see if they'll give me some answers. Like, that's a big one. Why is the timestamp 12-hour difference? How come if there's 24/7 police, how come nobody saw the shoes? That was a cry for help. Did she die on the 28th? You're saying there's no foul play. Well, there had to be foul play if she was stuck in a van. You know, there has to be drugs involved. Were there markings on her? How are you going to prove if, maybe she was a heroin addict? How are you going to prove that it was her or somebody shot her up and put her in the van? Why is the timestamp on the family of the last time they saw her wrong? Doesn't match up with the video. All of these questions I have, every single one of them. And I just don't know who's lying yet. I don't know, in my heart of hearts, I want to say that I think she was high and she got in a van and she was high and she got in the police van, maybe paranoia or something. And she ended up passing out and dying. I believe that. As of right now, that is the most likely scenario. But we don't have enough information yet. And I need these answers from the police to determine if I'm sticking with that story. Should the van have been opened? No. Should the van have been, what are you not surprised about, Bonnie? Should the police have better equipment? Yes, it's Huntsville. We're not living in the Stone Ages. It's a pretty busy police department. Why did nobody notice vans on this window were open that have never been open before? That shouldn't be open. All these cops that are around 24/7, how did nobody notice? These are the questions I have. So I would like answers to them because they're really logical questions. Hopefully I can track down a Huntsville policeman and ask them, or walk right into the station and ask them, but I don't know if they'll give me answers. Even out your nut, why would you go towards any police station? Well, that's the thing. That is the thing. No, paranoid is why she went in the police van in the first place. I watched an interview with the family who said that they have picked her up from the police station multiple times. So she was very familiar with the police station, very familiar with the police. What her job was or anything else, or how she got there or anything like that, we don't know. I mean, if you're a druggie, why go towards cops? It seems she was there a lot. The cops try to help her. There's some programs that he kind of was talking about. No, this is another Kennika Jenkins. But I don't know, something in me.
HPD investigators say the city's security.
Something in me tells me she went in on her own, but I have so many other questions. So many other things just don't add up. So I don't know. I just don't know. But they're definitely getting sued. Yeah, cops in the car park 24/7. No one's seeing anything. No one heard anything. I'm not buying that. She has drugs in her system. Well, actually, Laura Lee, the van should have never been open. The van should have never been opened. So they have a lawsuit. There's definitely a lawsuit. That van should never have been opened. They'll win money. Just because you at the station don't mean you drop your guard. No, not at all. Doesn't seem like they're very observant. Are they supposed to be more observant than regular people? Yeah, you want to know why, Michelle? I'm going to answer that for you. It's kind of like at work. When you're at the same job every day in the parking lot, you notice little things. You would notice if a car is there. You would notice if something changed. If you see something every day, you would notice that. Why is the door, why are the windows open? You should notice that. You know, a van that's not used, why would the windows be open? Even if you didn't go in it, but you just said something to someone. So, but I do think she was now, if the toxicology reports come back she was sober, then we have a problem. But I believe in my heart it's going to come back she was high. Do you think they would smell a body sooner? That's true. You know, did she go in the van and then leave and then come back? I don't know. If you're putting an old fridge out and a child dies, you're getting sued. It's your property. How come you know all this? Gonna take notes for Nikki. Observe a little details, otherwise you're a crap cop. Just take a exactly. I agree. You should notice those windows open of a van that's never used. Took 2 weeks for someone to notice. That's what I'm saying, Lacey. Cops should notice windows open, hands down. There's no reason for you not to see it. Now, they're saying this is a police parking lot. I don't know about that. It doesn't look like it's boarded off. I bet I can drive right over there. Maybe they let her stay there. Maybe. Like I said, so many questions. Station would be sued big time. The law is to have their vehicles locked. I agree with that. It's going to be tricky, though. It's going to depend on a judge. It's going to depend on a lot of things. Remember, this was private property. This was not an open parking lot. This was the police parking lot. It's going to be an interesting trial. No doubt. Because that's what the cop said. This is private property. This was a closed police parking lot, not a parking lot for the public. So it's going to be interesting how this is going to turn out. Instead of finding out how she passed, they go straight for money. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's weird. So if you leave my car unlocked in my driveway and a druggie dies in it, I'm at fault. Hell no. Yeah, you are. No, actually, maybe. Laura Lee, kind of like if you have a pool, honestly, if you have a pool and you don't have a fence and a child dies in your pool, you are held responsible. She was also in there without food or water. True. It's dicey. I fight a tooth and nail. Oh, yeah. It's definitely an interesting case, though. It'll be interesting to see how it pans out. And it all comes down to a toxicology report. You got some, I do have some homework. I'm going to drive by there, see what I can see. No way, Laura. No way what? About the pool? That's a fact. That's why if you have a pool in most states, you have to have a fence. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy. Difference between a car versus a pool. Well, I'm just saying, though, in a pool. That's why you don't see the above ground plastic pools in the front yard unless there's a fence around it. Pools need fence and insurance. Hey, Queen Bee. All right, I have to get into a shower because I got to call my mom back and I have to go get my medicine, and I'm going to drive by and see what I can find, see if I could see anything. Hey, Obi-Wan. It's a cop's parking lot. Of course they will be sued. Oh, I agree. The lawyer could have solicited them, Laura. No, it says that they scouted him out. What if she was suffering from some sort of mental health issue and was hearing voices? That's very possible. But think about it, Lisa. She knew enough to throw her shoes outside of the van. That was her cry for help. That was her trying to tell somebody, I'm in here, I'm stuck. Hoping somebody would see her shoes. That's my opinion. Someone died in your car being high. I don't believe it's anyone's responsibility. I don't know. Oh, I get it, Lisa. But I do. I really do. I think that was her. I think that was her cry for help. It's definitely like Kennika Jenkins. She didn't get the help she needed. Well, it seems she was in and out of help. I don't think she could crawl out the window. I don't think they were. I mean, they're saying she could have kicked it out, but we don't know what her state of mind was. And it'll be interesting to see what a private autopsy shows. She's been on drugs in the past. They didn't know if she was on drugs this particular day. And they don't know what type of drugs. Cocaine will make you hallucinate. Meth will make you hallucinate. Oxycontin will not make you hallucinate. So it really depends what drug she was on. But either way, it's a sad case. It's just very interesting. It is tragic ending. But I want more answers. Yeah, allegedly she threw her shoes out. They found the shoes out right underneath the window. So that tells me that she opened the window for the shoes, and maybe she was opening and closing. They're saying like there's movement in the van. Maybe she was opening and closing the windows for somebody to notice. You know what I mean? That was her cry for help, was opening the windows, opening and closing the windows.
Investigators say
opening and closing the windows. Scary watching whose YouTube videos? Why not scream? Don't know. All right, Obi. She might have taken them. No, it was right underneath the window. I don't know. If I was high, the last place I'd be is a police station. But maybe she was crying for help there. I don't know. We just don't know yet. It's crazy, though. So, all right, I got to get going, though. I got to get into a shower. I will touch base with you guys later. Her name is 29-year-old Christina Nance. If you want to do any more research on the story, I don't really think there's anything else out there, but I definitely wanted to bring it to you guys. It's a story that I'm totally going to follow up on and get as many answers as I can. And we'll see what happens. So I will see you guys later. Nothing new in the laundry case. I will see you guys later. Have a wonderful day. Peace.